We've got an update on the relationship of Shane and Vince McMahon following Shane's departure. We could be seeing some top NXT stars getting called up in the draft, and a new AEW championship design has been revealed. So in case you missed it yesterday, Shane McMahon leaving WWE. He is still contracted in some way as a wrestler, but he is no longer working behind the scenes in any capacity at all. That was first reported by Wrestling Inc. and Fightful. We got a bit of an update on this because speculation, of course, was running wild, brother. And people were saying that, oh God, Vince and Shane had a bit of a falling out, because they did have a bit of a falling out back in 2009 that led to Shane leaving WWE, but they patched those things up very quickly. So WrestlingNews.co writing, I know that fans want to think there is friction between Shane and Vince, but their relationship is great. It's a rumor killer. When Shane returned in 2016, it was agreed by everyone that he would only work as a talent. That is what Shane wanted. Shane has other business interests. It was never a secret that he wasn't involved in the business side of WWE. So it's a happy family life is what I was going for there. Everything's fine between Shane and Vince, apparently. Ideanomics, the company that Shane has been doing work with, announced that he would be the new executive chairman of the board for the company. So it looks like he's got bigger fish to fry.
He's got other things. Can't be jumping off that cell roof anymore, can he? Well, I mean, he can every now and then.
Yeah,
he can come back every now and then just for that spot. So make Daddy happy and then.
Say that again.
Make Daddy happy and then.
I mean, yeah, I want to see Shane once in a blue moon. You remember when he returned in, what was it, 2016?
Yes.
When he returned in 2016, the pop that he had was monumental. I was so excited to see Shane back, because it had been a long, long time since we'd seen Shane. And quickly, sort of fan opinion soured, didn't it? And the best in the world stuff, which I actually, looking back on, I think was a really great bit of heel work.
Yeah, without a doubt, yeah.
Once they owned it, and it was like, Shane thinks he's the best in the world. Of course he doesn't, but I actually think it worked really well. I was entertained, and it got tiresome, I guess. They really did. They were beating a dead horse by the end of it. But I've always been a big fan of Shane McMahon. I think he's a ridiculously underrated talent.
Yeah.
The stuff that he's done and putting his body on the line, especially during the Attitude Era. But even later in life, and like when he was getting on a bit, he was still jumping off massive bonkers stuff, wasn't he?
It was crazy. And like you said, I think he is very much underrated in that aspect for how much he put into his performances and how much he put into the ring and working with these other talents as well. Like when Kane took his mask off, and he kind of like, I think that feud sort of elevated Kane a little bit too.
Yeah,
it made him look like an absolute insane monster. Like I think Shane did a lot of good things for a lot of people. And,
I agree.
I think it'll be nice, hopefully, to see him come back every now and then, do a little bit of something, but perhaps not overstay his welcome, just as he did with like the Best in the World stuff.
Agreed.
But then again, that could just be really good heel work.
I admire Shane for wanting to, like, he's got this job on a plate, right, with WWE. I admire the fact that he's gone and done something else.
Yeah,
I think that's
me
really
too.
cool of him.
Me too.
Next up, top NXT stars potentially getting called up. Andrew Zarian speaking on the Matt Men podcast saying, don't be shocked if you see people from the main roster go down to NXT every now and then, like Mandy Rose. There's a story in itself. Yeah. That's kind of cool. Someone like that. But it's interesting because Hit Row is a name that people are throwing out there, and LA Knight 2.
The most electrifying man in sports entertainment, as Ross says, and as they say on the podcast, because he genuinely is very, very compelling, and he's such a good promo. His in-ring work might not be the most exciting, but guy's got something. Guy's got something.
He does nothing for me.
He does nothing for me at all.
No, different strokes for different folks.
That's
and all
fair
that.
enough.
And I totally understand why people love him, and he does have charisma.
Yes.
To me, there's something about him, and I think it's like he's a try-hard, isn't he?
A little bit.
He is a try-hard.
He really is.
I just think like there's I can see what he's trying to do, but it never quite clicks
lands
for me.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I'm glad that you do enjoy him, because I think he's been good value on NXT, and I feel like he's the sort of guy that was never going to be in NXT for that long, because he looks like a Vince McMahon dream, doesn't he?
Oh my god, yeah. So
him.
I think to see him called up to the main roster, I think that would make sense as well. And I think he'd do well with people on the main roster too. such a presence about him. Like, obviously now we've had the rebrand of NXT and it's changed a little bit, but there was something so pristine about LA Knight that kind of fits the bill of the main roster more than NXT, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I think he would suit being up there and cutting all the smelling promos and rock style things, because
that's exactly
he's just really good. He is good.
Your words, not mine. Look forward to seeing you in the
man.
mid-card, pal. No, good luck to him. He is very talented. Moving on, Mick Foley making a major appearance for a top indie promotion, Game Changer Wrestling, announcing that Mick Foley will present the GCW World title prior to Moxley versus Gage at GCW Fight Club on October 9th.
Ooh.
Two hardcore legends going at it.
Oh my God.
Being overseen by the hardcore legend.
Amazing. I don't want Mick to get hurt, but part of me is like, are you going to get involved?
Don't suggest it.
Are you going to get involved? Are you going to do something mental?
He can barely put his socks on, Andrew.
He can just put it on his hand, he'll be fine.
Quick, whap up another cell. Jump off it, Nick.
Come on,
What,
lad.
you horrible bastard.
I'm not being horrible, but like, there's
He'll
just
do
part of
Socko.
you.
That's all you get now.
Yeah, well,
He'll do Socko's fine, all right?
Socko's fine, but like, just in GCW, Mick Foley in GCW, you just want him to see him do something. You do want him a little
He's
bit.
an OAP.
Yeah, but still, do something mental.
Everything that Foley did was not enough for this LA Knight loving freak. Unbelievable. Following on, right, there's been lots of rumours about the Bella Twins coming back to WWE, and this, it's been talked about for what feels like years now, about them coming back on a part-time schedule. Nikki and Brie commenting on this, on sipping the tea, that a return is not in their plans. Nikki said, I would love one day when Matteo is like maybe 3 to have my son be ringside while his mum kicks ass. But because he's my everything, I have to listen to the doctors. And as of now, they've put me on the retired bench for life. Ooh. So it would take a lot of scans, x-rays and all this different stuff for them to actually approve me to have a run. And so that would be unlikely. It'll be years down the road if it does happen. Brie continuing, you just kind of evolve differently. We're always going to have a love for professional wrestling. It was a huge part of our lives and it was such a great time traveling the world and getting in the ring, but for me, I feel like I'm in such a different place in my life and a place that I really love. We're going to be 38 in November. They share a birthday, I didn't know that.
No, wow.
And I'm like, for us, we to be winemakers as well. I can't imagine taking a bump right now. They got a wine business.
All they need to do is just chug a lot of wine and they'll be fine. What? They won't even feel the bumps, they'll be right.
Yeah, that's good advice from Mick Foley as well.
Yeah, go on, Mick.
For his GCW appearance. Have a few tinnies, Mick. Andrew says you'll be fine. I didn't know, what, they make wine?
Apparently so now, yeah, apparently they do. Fair enough to them though, especially now that they've got children and you've got to be careful, don't you? I guess your priorities change when you're a professional
Mick Foley's
wrestler.
got kids.
Well...
Noel and...
No, it's fine, he can still take a bump in GCW.
What's his name? I've forgotten Mick Foley's other kid's name. Kane Dewey.
That's it.
There we go. Is there a third? I don't know. Anyway, Roderick Strong confirming scrapped plans for an NXT faction next. He's been speaking on the Meep podcast. That's good. Meep. That's really good.
Thank you.
That's really good.
Whoa, calm down.
I love that. We'll trademark that. Talking about getting custom gear for Diamond Mind, and he said, I know a guy in Florida, he runs a show's called Combat MMA. I'd actually got on Undisputed Era rash guards because we were always training together. And he was like, I've got to get some made for Diamond Mind. He said, I got my wife, Marina Shafir, of course, and Arturo Ruas, but it didn't end up working out. Things happened the way they did. At least it's something they can remember and use. A nice little souvenir. Obviously, we've seen the Creed brothers join recently. Ivy Nile, all headed up by the brilliant Malcolm Bivens. So I could just sit here
so good, isn't it?
Yeah.
What? Sorry, what was that?
I love Bivens.
Yeah, he's amazing, isn't he?
I love Bivens.
He's just fantastic.
So there you go. That earlier report confirmed their very different faction to how they originally planned it.
Yeah, crazy. And there was so much promise as well beforehand with that faction. I mean, there's still promise with them now, but I was excited to see where they would go with like Tyler Rust and Ruas as well. I was excited to see that, but unfortunately, it's not to be.
Yeah, they're still doing good stuff though.
Yeah,
still doing good stuff. Next up, an interesting one. WWE filing a spooky trademark. Do the meet. Do the meet. Good. They've trademarked Samoan Ghost. Right. So my mind jumped to the same conclusion that your mind jumped to. Right.
Yeah.
Read this because it's been trademarked for performances by professional wrestlers. So this is a pro wrestler's wrestling name or nickname, whatever. This isn't like a show or anything. This is for a wrestler. I immediately thought it was a ghost what done it to Finn Balor. Did the rope thing, and it was a Samoan ghost. And the Samoan ghost is going to be part of the bloodline. And
don't put it past WWE to turn someone into the Samoan ghost and for them just to like rise out of the fog or something.
It could still be that.
It could still
You've done a bit more research here.
I have indeed. So the term... It's a nickname basically for Zion Quinn, who's a new NXT guy. He debuted, I think, either this week or last week, and apparently it's going to be the nickname for this guy. I wonder if we'll see. Maybe it's too soon to see this person get called up in the draft as well and join the bloodline, and perhaps have something to do with the guys there. I'm not entirely sure, but the Samoan Ghost nickname seems so weird, especially so close to what's happened at Extreme Rules, you know?
I want it to be a ghost. Double down on it. It's crap. Double down on it. It's funny.
Yeah, no, why not? I was going to swear that. Why not? Let's just do it.
Let's have a ghost in wrestling. We've had zombies, we've had spooky clowns, we've had
Bray Wyatt ghosts and everything.
Yeah, right.
That'll be fine.
Jim Neidhart, dressed up as a ghost once as well.
We had Undertaker rising into the rafters. Easy. Wrestling's not daft.
A new AEW Championship design has been revealed. It is the AEW TNT title. Basically, they've scrapped Miro's Bulgarian flag design. Sammy Guevara showing it off in a video on AEW social media. It's basically back to what it was when like Darby held it. It's got the similar plates anyway. Yeah. I think they're textured, whereas Darby's had a mirror finish to it. But the colours are basically back the same. So that belt's back right. But this is again a bit of a rumour killer because Red Leather had previously teased a new AEW title design. Everybody thought, oh okay, that's cool. That's gonna be new belt, new belts, whatever. But it's not a new title, it's just a new design. It looks like that was what they were talking about. Although there are reportedly plans for another women's title to be introduced on AEW TV in the not too distant future.
Nice.
There you go. That's your news. One more. Go on.
Meep.
Gold. Why haven't you subscribed yet? See you in a bit.